So, Micromax, we've had some great racing between these young drivers. Heat 1, it was Daniel Minto that picked up the victory. Heat 2, Tyler O'Neill. And Heat 3, James Roberts. Here's your starting grid. It's Roberts and Minto on the front row. Aston Brown, the points leader, coming into this round here at Rowrah. On row 2, alongside Logan Lauder. Samuel Audii and Toby Jukes round out the top 3 rows. Row 4, it's James Tate and Riley Buckton-Young, with Tyler O'Neill and Amy Peacock completing the top 10. Jack Hutchinson and Caden Simpson complete row 6. Alex Jones, Harry Neeson, Kyle McLean and Ella Lucia rounding out the 16 strong. Kyle McLean and Ella Lucia, I've seen neither of them on the track, so we have 14 drivers ready to go racing. Now we up the stakes, 12 minutes plus an additional lap of racing for all of our 5 finals here today at Rowrah. So the drivers now being sent on their way. A little bit more of a strategy call here. But Daniel Minto is the driver that was victorious 4 weeks ago at Wilton Mill. Will he do it? Will he do 2 for 2 this time around here at Rowrah in Cumbria? James Roberts and several other drivers could have a say in what transpires over around about the next 13 minutes of racing. So drivers weaving from side to side, coming through the Stuart S's. Now trying to get into the 2x2 rolling start formation, and there they are. All 14 drivers. Jack Hutchinson down in 13th, being the novice of the crew. So out of St John's through Sunny Bend, they will be told to slow down and split into their relevant positions. It's a 5-second time penalty for impeding on tram lines through the start. Let's see if we can get our first of 5 finals underway on the first time of asking. Into the tram lines. Revs rise. 12 minutes on the clock. The lights are out. We are off and underway. And Robert sweeps ahead of Minto, leading them into the chicane. Brown into 3rd place as they head up the hill for the first time. Samuel Audii. And you've also got Logan Lauder battling away with Toby Jukes. And there's also James Tate in the mix as well. Oh, Tate gets a bit advantageous, and we've had a spin. That is the number 99 of Tyler O'Neill, and we've also had another spinner at the back of McRae's as they head down to Iredale's for the first time. There's Amy Peacock trying to get the over and under on Caden Simpson and gets the job done, and to the outside, that's Harry Neeson on Caden Simpson trying to get through as well. Through into the Stuart S's. Nice and gingerly does it, but Harry Neeson neatly slots inside. Oh, worries, Tim Winters. It's not a problem at all. These things do happen. The drivers make their way down through into Paddock Bend for the first time of asking. And leading the way, it is James Roberts. Daniel Minto in 2nd. Gap between them, less than half a second. 3rd, it's Aston Brown, Samuel Audii, Logan Lauder, and also James Tate rounding out the top 6. Toby Jukes in 7th. Riley Buckton-Young. Amy Peacock now up into 9th place, ahead of Harry Neeson, who completes the top 10. Caden Simpson in 11th, ahead of Alex Jones, Tyler O'Neill, and Jack Hutchinson. And there is the train, the Aston Brown train, being leading them all into Iredale's. Oh, round goes Laudie, and into the side goes Logan Lauder, and Laudie is absolutely furious with that one. Simpson's got nowhere to go and now has to get out of the cart to push it back. Marshall's on the scene, and I think Lauder's wedged in. Yes, front bumper was wedged behind the right front wheel. Laudie absolutely fuming on that one. Oh, moment for Riley Buckton-Young going into the Stuart S's. Manages to regain the cart and all its faculties thereof. But at the front of the field, Minto is closing in on Roberts for P1. And there they are, line astern. Gap was 4.5 tenths of a second, now 0.26. Minto with the fastest lap, 1 minute 4.422. Roberts with a 1 minute 4.608. As Amy Peacock's now up into P5 and climbing. Last time around, she was about less than 0.6 of a second slower than James Tate, as Roberts trying to get the better of Daniel Minto as things stand. Into Iredales they go. Now D all the way down into stone dead last after that incident with Logan Lauder. But Laudie lost the back end under braking. 9 1/4 minutes still to go, plus an additional lap. Aston Brown, the way things stand, will continue to lead the points after this particular round in the championship. And Alex Jones will find himself a little bit further behind than he would like at the end of round 3. But still, it's a marathon, not a sprint in a championship. You've got to make sure that you score points consistently. Gap between first and second now, 0.283 of a second. Aston Brown is about 3.7 seconds behind. James Tate still ahead of Amy Peacock by about 3 seconds. So Amy Peacock, as I said, doing one of 2 drivers doing double duty this weekend. So she's doing Honda Cadet and Micromax. And also Maximus Shields doing Junior Rotax and Junior Pro Karts. 2 leaders coming through Iredales. Logan Lauder's just set a personal best, but James Roberts, last time round, 1 minute 4.221, was 16 thousandths of a second quicker. There's Tyler O'Neill, 99 ahead of Riley Buckton-Young. There's Alex Jones being chased down by Harry Neeson in the 47. And Neeson gets out. Oh, Neeson and Jones side by side through the Stewart's S's. Neeson still trying to thread the eye of the needle, then pair are touching side by side. Oh, that was very, very close for comfort between the pair. And Alex Jones is now coming under fire from Caden Simpson, the 77. And Simpson manages to get through, the youngster, 9 years of age from York. Started racing last year at the age of 8. So Simpson gets through on Alex Jones, who drops out of the top 10. It's not been a good one for Alex Jones this weekend, I'm afraid. But Daniel Minto starting to lose a little bit of ground to James Roberts. Roberts last time went sub 1 minute 4, 1 minute 3.961. Minto again, and there's Amy Peacock. She was running P5, and again, drama strikes the number 17. And she comes out ahead in front of Riley Buckton-Young and Harry Neeson, who's firmly got the bit between his teeth, and Harry Neeson gets past Riley Buckton-Young, going in towards the stewardesses. So that means that Amy Peacock has only lost a couple of positions, one to Toby Jukes, one to Tyler O'Neill, so she now rounds out the top 7. Harry Neeson's definitely fired up. That's very much case in points, as Logan Lauder very much sideways there. Riley Buckton-Young up the inside of Caden Simpson. That was through Sunny Bend. Now Simpson tries to put the boot on the other foot going through into paddock. 6 1/4 minutes to go. Switchback attempt from Riley Buckton-Young. It's going to be nip and tuck, but Caden Simpson manages to get through before the chicane. But James Roberts and Daniel Minto still only 0.3 of a second adrift. I think they're not too far. Oh, Minto's got a great run on Roberts. They're going to head down the hill. Into the right here at St John's. Curve used by Roberts to steer the kart through, rotate it through the corner, through Sunny Bend. Keeps the momentum ahead of the number 28. That's the blue flag being waved to Jack Hutchinson, the number 31. Based out of Ulverston from these very parts here in Cumbria. Just the tender age of 8 years. But still good to see youngsters like Jack making sure that they have an opportunity to compete in such a championship like this. As now he lets them past. So Roberts still has got the upper hand on Minto as we are well past half time on the counter. Seven minutes down, 5 to go, plus an additional lap. Roberts has got the fastest lap of anybody after lap 4. It was a 1 minute 3.961. Minto is hot on his heels, as there's a bit of a mistake there from Caden Simpson. That allows Harry Neeson to get back through for 8th position. There is Toby Jukes, who's running at the top 5. Oh, change for the lead and another change for the lead within the last couple of corners. Minto got the upper hand on Roberts. Roberts got back through on Paddock. Ashton Brown, on the meantime, is battling away for P3 with James Tate as they've just come through the final corner. And there is Minto looking menacing. Is he going to send it up the inside of McRae's? No, he does not. Roberts doing exactly what he needs to do to keep Daniel Minto at bay. James Tate in 3rd. Aston Brown in 4th. Toby Jukes, Amy Peacock. Right, what's happened with Tyler O'Neill? He's dropped out. Ah, right, there's yellow flags out on the circuit. So Tyler O'Neill, I'm wondering if his race has come to an abrupt halt. I did see a flash of yellow flags being waved by a marshal. James Tate has got a warning flag from race control, but the battle for the lead. Oh, it's close coming out of Sunny Bend. Roberts still ahead of Minto. Defending like a good one is the 137. So Minto trying to close on in. 3 minutes and 20 still to go on the clock. And there is Riley Buckton-Young, okay, who's dropped way down the order. Down into 12th, has gone to 66. So Tyler O'Neill's race, I think, has come to a premature end, the number 99. An unfortunate set of circumstances for the youngster who won the second heat earlier on today. Less than 3 minutes remaining on the clock. Roberts pulling away from Minto. Gap looks to be a little bit more than 0.3 of a second as they now head into the stewardesses. Minto goes a little bit sideways as he accelerates coming through the first part of it, and now he's going to try and get that run of momentum. This was what he was doing in the last race against James Roberts, as now they go down through St John's. Minto was nearly into the back of Roberts, through into Sunny Bend. Roberts and Minto still intertwined in battle. Both take the same amount of racing line going through. James Tate in the meantime has gotten away from Aston Brown. So we're getting into the final 2 minutes, the final 6th of this race. Toby Jukes, a solid 5th place finish. 5th place at the moment for the youngster. He's running as high as in the top 5 earlier on this weekend. After a great run last week at Hooton Park and their IKR series. 1 minute and 40 still to go. Roberts has the measure of Minto for the minute. There's the battle between Harry Neeson and Caden Simpson. Battle for 7th place between the 47 and the 77. 77, same race number as Valtteri Bottas in Formula 1 with Alfa Romeo. .75 seconds remain on the clock. Keeping my eyes on the 2 leaders and anyone else that might be intertwined in a battle, because James Tate and Aston Brown are about 1 second away from each other at the moment, as I've just seen Brown just go over the brow of the hill into the chicane. Toby Jukes is coming out of the final corner as we speak. And that is Alex Jones and Logan Lauder. They're battling away over 9th position. They're making their way out of Sunny Bend. So 33 seconds on the clock. James Roberts, last time around, was over half a second ahead of Daniel Minto in the battle for the top step of the rostrum. Minto's closed the gap once again in the downward part of the circuit. The leaders coming through Paddock. 2 to 3 kart lengths between them. Right, we're on to the penultimate lap of the final. Lap number 11 out of 13 completed. Minto is now starting to push. He's just put in the fastest lap, 1 minute 3.909 seconds. And now Roberts will know that it's this plus an additional lap to go. Timer hit 0. 12 minutes have expired. So through into Iredale's for the final time. Minto needs to start pressurising Roberts. If he can get a good run through the Stewart S's and line it up through St John's and Sunny Bend, If he can force a mistake out of James Roberts, then it's anyone's game, as now Logan Lauder has got past Alex Jones, and they've got the 31 of Jack Hutchinson, the novice in between, who's just been given the blue flag. There's the leaders. Oh, it's happened. It's very, very close indeed. So now Minto has got to be on full guns blazing attack as they go through into paddock. Last lap board is out this time. It's Roberts and it's Minto. Just over 1,000 metres separate one of these drivers from either second or victory. And Minto is within striking distance. Going through into McRae's for the final time. A little bit wider from Roberts, trying to get the acceleration out of the corner, now through into Iredale's. We've just got the Stuart S's, St John's, Sunnybend and Paddock to negotiate. But if Minto can tee it up through the Stuart S's, the momentum carry he will get going down the hill and into St John's. There we go! Move for the lead through into the Stuart S's. What does Roberts have in his bag? They bang side wheels. Oh, Roberts into the barriers off of the second part of the Stuart S's. So close. But nevertheless, James Roberts managing to bring the kart home. Provisionally, Daniel Minto will get the checkered flag. I would imagine there's going to be some discussion post-race. However, Minto takes the checkered. Roberts takes second, 2.4 seconds adrift. Third place is going to be James Tate, as we've had Harry Neeson and Caden Simpson come together. Harry Neeson furious and bangs the steering wheel in frustration. James Tate takes third. Aston Brown in fourth. As Toby Jukes, I think, is going to be coming around the final corner now. Riley Buxton-Young and Toby Jukes, 2 hands off the wheel, celebrating P5. Well done, young man. Amy Peacock has been in the mire all weekend long, doing double duty. The number 17 crosses the line in 6th position. And this is going to change everything behind Harry Neeson and Caden Simpson, because they were both beached on the outskirts of Iredale. So we've got Logan Lauder's going to take 7th. 8th, it's going to be Alex Jones. Samuel Aldii will take, well, Samuel Aldii takes 8th. Alex Jones takes 9th. Harry Neeson takes 10th. Riley Buxton-Young will round out the top 12. We'll have Caden Simpson across the line 11th, with Jack Hutchinson rounding out the top 13. Let's have a look at the replay of that incident on the last lap through the Stuart S's. So, Minto up the inside. Roberts thinks, right, I'm going to try and go. Oh, right, hopefully. Hayden Taylor says, well done to Toby Jukes for a P5. Okay, let's have a look. So, through into the Stuart S's. Roberts goes a little bit wide, looks to tee it up. Minto sent it. They touch, they bang wheels, and no room, I'm afraid. But it was very, very close. I would imagine that's going to be looked at post-race. However, Daniel Minto is your Micromax winner this weekend. 2 for 2, provisionally speaking, at the moment. Any results that I have called all the way through the day has been provisional, pending any sporting and technical checks.